Yes, you're watching the South Australian Sports Show. Well, Baz, it's that time of the day where we get a chance to go to our number one footy tipper, Bevo, from last year, who was on fire for most of the season. So, Bevo, thanks for coming back in.
Great to be back again, Smythe, and g'day, Barry.
Hello, mate. Now, before we start, how many did you get last week?
Last week, I'm actually not doing footy tipping this year personally, just here on the show, but I reckon I would have probably got 7 or 8. So
Really?
Yeah.
From last week?
Yeah.
Now, I know hardened tipsters have got 4.
Yeah, I've heard it's a pretty tough round. So a lot of games going, different ways.
Absolutely.
And that sort of thing.
Bevo's not put off by hard rounds, mate. He is the crystal ball gazer. So, mate, let's get on to it. On Friday night, a traditional game, Carlton v Collingwood at the MCG.
Yeah, Collingwood put up a much better performance last week, Smythe, going down to Giants by 16 points, and Blues disappointing against Gold Coast, of course. But I feel as though Collingwood, just with those injuries to Darcy Moore and Broomhead last week, Collingwood just can't seem to take a trick at the moment. So I think the Blues will be too strong on Friday night.
All right, the Power, Saturday, the Power up against the Lions in Adelaide. Just before we give us yours, any unbiased tip there, mate, Power?
Oh, no, I think personally,
Yeah.
no, I think Brisbane have got an outstanding midfield. They've got probably the best forward line in the competition. Their back line is absolutely brilliant. Port by about 10.
Yeah.
Bevo? That's what I'm thinking.
You'll go with that, all right. We'll bring you in on the rest now, but that's pretty unbiased. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Port will win comfortably, but you can't.
They're on a bad side.
Yeah, Brisbane are definitely an improved side this year.
Fagan's done a really good job.
He really has, yeah.
Extremely
Some of their
good
young guys are up and about. Having Hodge is just a huge difference.
Could
And
have won
Charlie
last
Cameron as well. Kicked 3 goals last week and 3 goals in his first week. So 6 goals in 2 games, not a bad return for him.
There's a big one. Melbourne and the Kangaroos. That's a big one.
This is going to be an interesting one because the Kangaroos had the wood over the D's in recent years.
They have.
Having said that, though, I think Melbourne will be too strong. They had a good win against Brisbane last week, and the Roos, whilst they had a good win against the Saints, I just feel as though Melbourne's playing some good footy.
Well, I know we're only 1 game into the season, but can you see the Roos, or 2 games in on this? Can you see the Roos making the 8?
I don't think so, no.
Close. Yeah, they were good last week.
They were.
As bad as St Kilda or St Rosewater, I was calling them. They were poor. They were very poor. So it's hard to judge how good the Kangaroos are.
I think once you sort of start getting to about sort of round 6 to 8, you start really seeing who the best teams are this year.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I don't think the Roos will finish in the top 8, but in terms of the Saints, yeah, they're disappointing, aren't they? Because they were good against Brisbane, and everyone's talking about them being a real finals contender this year, but they were very disappointing against the Roos last week. So
it just makes you wonder how important Rewalt was to their.
That's right, and Montagna as well.
And Montagna, both. Hey, Stuart, you export boy, of course. I know you'd bring that up if I didn't bring it up, mate. Doing an outstanding job with the Suns. They're up against the Dockers at Optus.
Yeah, Doc was very impressive against the Bombers last week at Optus Stadium, so I think I'll go for Freo again. This will be a close game though. Suns are playing some really good footy at the moment, obviously undefeated going into this game, but I think the Dockers at home will be too strong.
Sydney GWS, there's another one. A tipster's nightmare.
That is a tipster's nightmare. Sydney were great against Port in the first half. Port had a brilliant second half, of course, but Sydney at the SCG, you don't lose 2 in a row there very often, so I think they'll be, won't say too strong because this will be a classic. I think Sydney by a couple of goals.
Okay. Mate, you'd lose sleepless nights on the Crows up against St Kilda. That would be something you've been thinking about all week, I would have thought.
Well, I've hit the tape button for sure. I'll be recording that one.
Seriously, just for a moment, do you ever watch the Crows play at all? Do you have any interest in the Crows at all? I mean, you've only been with Port for 40 years.
Yeah.
And I have read some of your posts over the journey where you've pretty much pillared the Crows.
No. I don't.
You don't pillar them.
A lot of that's tongue in cheek, as you well know.
It's tongue in cheek.
I agree.
It is.
I think the Crows are a really good team. They are a good team, but no, I don't watch them. No. And it's not because it's not only the Crows. There's a few teams I don't watch.
So where would you draw the line on? It's just, Fruit Tingles. Is that just tongue in cheek?
Well, I got outed a few years ago with the Fruit Tingles one by Michelangelo Rucci,
of all people,
who outed me as the one that started the Fruit Tingles thing. Because when I go to the football now, and I walk into Adelaide Oval, for instance, I'll have at least 5 or 6 people say, "Baz, how's the Fruities going?" So people still relate that. And that was
so it's a bit of fun though, isn't it?
But it was of course it was a bit of fun. It was way back in way back in about 1994, I think, something like that, in a Sports Beat article. What I was tired of was the press never ever having a go at the Crows when they played poorly. It was always brave Crows go down fighting, or tell the truth. If they play poorly, report it that way. So my article was based around that, the media, basically. But at the very bottom line of that article, the very bottom line, all I said was, they just look like a packet of fruit tingles out there running around to me. That's all I said. And it just went, as you know, it went ape, it went everywhere. And no matter where I go, now, because I've been outed as the one that started it, by Rucci in the Advertiser.
What year was it?
A few years ago. I think the Fruit Tingle started in 1994.
It's good they've let it go.
Yeah, they've let it go, for sure, yeah. They have not let it go. But no, I don't watch them. But
Crows v St Kilda, what are you tipping?
Oh no, Crows will beat St Kilda.
Yeah, Crows be too good. Must give credit to the Crows as well. Last week they beat the Tigers by 36 points. When Matt Crouch went down, I thought Tigers would be on here.
In trouble,
but the Crows have showed that the depth is really strong.
Yeah.
Like Cam Ellis-Ullman is starting to play some good footy. Bryce Gibbs is superb again.
Big unit.
You know, they've got some good
big
depth.
Units in the midfield.
Very good. And Seedsman, 28 possessions as well.
Careful with the depth. I'm not sure about their depth. I did watch them on Saturday at
Against the Maggies.
Against the Maggies. Yeah,
boy. And somebody made the point. Somebody made the point that when they ran onto the ground, the Crows, they only recognised one player, which was Kyle Cheney. They didn't recognise anyone else. So normally you'd get
depth mightn't be as
4
good
or 5. Well, they got hammered by 100 points.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
you know, I worry for the Crows if they lose another couple.
Yeah, that's
That's
true.
all I'm saying. At the moment, they'll tear St Kilda a new one.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to come in with the
We should pay
blindfold
credit
and so
to
on, couldn't find the
Lindsay
way to the ground.
Thomas
I
as
knew
well.
there was an opening for you there.
Lindsay Thomas with 6 goals as well in that game. We should pay credit to him.
Yes, but I'd say that the quality of the opposition wasn't that good. Let's see him do it against Glenelg on Friday night.
Yeah.
Well, this one will be a builder on Sunday. Richmond v the Hawks at
Another one.
MCG.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that one?
It's another one that could go either way, but
Another one.
I think the Tigers will bounce back after their loss to the Crows last week. And, you know, if they want to go back-to-back this year, they have to win these sort of
They were
games.
poor,
And-
weren't they?
Yeah,
Richmond
they
last
were
week,
definitely.
poor.
Yeah, they were. And the Hawks, to their credit, they were superb against the Cats in that 1-point win. What a game that was.
A terrific game.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
open
Jared
game.
Ruffhead with that mark at the end and a point just to get him through. Bulldogs and the Bombers at Etihad.
Yeah, Bulldogs, what a disappointment they've been the last
two
couple of weeks.
seasons.
And last couple of seasons since they won the flag. So,
I think there's some issues there. There's some issues at the Western Bulldogs. I know people at the Western Bulldogs who are very, very angry at having Stringer go and a couple of others. It's easy to get rid of guys, but you're still going to be able to.
And Stringer can definitely play as well.
Of
That's
course
a
he
big
can.
loss for
Of course
them,
he can,
especially in their forward line.
Yeah.
Redpath has gone down with his knee last year.
what I mean.
Stringer's now gone.
Difficult.
So definitely.
It's a tricky one. But the Bombers should win that.
Yeah, I
Bombers
think
for
Bombers
both
as
of you
well.
over the
Yeah.
top. All right, last one. West Coast and Geelong at Optus WA, which
Another
is
classic.
an amazing ground.
Another 50-50 one, Smithy, but I feel as though the Cats will bounce back this week. The threesome of Ablett, Dangerfield and Selwood, I think, will carve it up at Optus Stadium.
The three
I'm
amigos.
not sure about the Cats. I'm not sure about Geelong. I think, okay, they're terrific midfield there with those 3 players, as you mentioned. But I worry about their very young defence. And I just don't think they're capable of kicking really big, although they kicked a few yesterday. It was a very open game.
Yeah.
They're forwards. If Hawkins doesn't score, where do they score? It's got to be those 3 guys you're talking about.
Menzel's been good though, hasn't he?
Menzel's
He's
been
good.
terrific.
8 goals in 2 games.
Yeah. But I worry about Geelong. I'm a bit like that with the Cats.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Not sure about the Cats.
We've got a couple of minutes before we go. I want to ask you this, Barry. Of course, you're a state cricketer in the 70s, the 78, 79 with Ian Chappell. Been a little bit happening in cricket in the last week, it's fair to say. With, not having any paint when you've got sandpaper can get you into trouble.
Wow.
But, mate, are the penalties, in a serious note,
Yeah.
Smith-Warner Bancroft, are the penalties too harsh?
Yes.
I mean, why?
No,
Were we too emotive at the start?
That's exactly what happened. I mean, I can remember my first reaction. It was quite funny because I'm sitting out under my pergola and my wife came out who knows as much about cricket as an ant. But she came out while I was sitting there having my cup of tea early in the morning and said to me, well, now I know why you're not too keen on Steve Smith. He's a disgrace. He's a cheat and he's a disgrace. Now, I don't know at that stage.
Oh, what's happened?
So I'm thinking if she's unhappy,
It's big.
something's happened for sure. Yeah. So I went back, turned it on, and quite honestly, it was more shock than anything else.
Yes.
It was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I think we all got wrapped up in that. The whole of us.
Well, it's so un-Australian, isn't it? It's un-Australian.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But I think they got 50% of their penalty was for the act.
Yeah.
And 50% was for stupidity.
Yeah.
I really believe that. But I think they've gone
too far.
But
when you say, too far?
Well, yeah. But when you say that, you've got to look at Cricket Australia losing 24 million over 3 years.
Yes.
With a sponsor who immediately went bang.
Yeah.
Magellan?
Yeah, Magellan, yeah.
24 million over 3 years. That's $8 million a year. So you can see why they get a little bit.
Yep, they had to react.
Yeah, they had to react. But I think a 12-month ban, you got to put it in perspective. You see a guy like Shahid Afridi biting the ball.
Yep.
And going to eat the ball.
Yep.
And he gets a game.
Yeah. Which is the biggest penalty, by the way.
Which is the biggest penalty.
Other than that, they've been fines.
Plus match fine.
Yeah. I'll raise a question with you guys.
It's a bit of a...
Yeah.
20 years ago, before we've had all social media and all these other different social platforms that we have these days in terms of media, do you think it would have been different, say, 20 years ago if we didn't have this, media outrage about the incident?
I don't think it would have even been caught.
That's
Yeah.
right.
What
They wouldn't have seen it.
They wouldn't have seen it. What you've got to remember is that the cricket there's 30 cameras.
Yeah.
Now, 14 of those cameras are trained specifically to look for that sort of thing.
Yep.
So you're not going to get away with it, no matter who you are, where you are, which is why I said the word stupid, because it really... And I worry for Smith, because I think Smith lacked leadership. He had every right to go, hey, mate, we're not doing that.
Yes.
Because Warner Bancroft, if the stories are right, Warner Bancroft were the ones that put the plan together.
Yep.
Smith was there as the captain.
Yeah.
Should just clearly have said, boys, we don't do that.
It's not on.
And you are going to get caught.
Mate, how do you think, just quickly, because we have to go, how do you think Ian Chappell would have handled that? You only played under him for 9 seasons, mate.
Oh,
if he had have been in Smith's seat right there and heard that,
he would have strung Warner. Oh. It wouldn't have happened. Look, I said to someone the other day, we played cricket extremely hard and wanted to win every time we went out there and played extremely hard. But you would not dream of doing that. No. You wouldn't have. It wouldn't have even entered your...
No.
No.
I think stupid is a perfect word.
I think stupid is the word, really.
Yeah. I reckon that's why the penalty's there. You've touched on it, you've shattered the Australian dream.
That's it.
Because we did. We played hard, but we never cheated.
It was staggering. It was, and you know yourself, mate, no matter where you went the next day, that was the topic of conversation.
There's no question about it.
So if Cricket Australia had said, okay, we'll leave it, what the ICC said, we'll give you a 1 match ban and 75% of your match fee, there would have been an uproar. There would have been, and these are from people who I think were a little bit too emotive at the time. See, I've mellowed back on it a little bit. Okay, it was a stupid thing to do. But is 12 months out of all cricket the right penalty? I don't think so.
Well, I think
match fixing.
Yes. It's a bigger crime.
Yeah.
I reckon we're going to see more. I think the Players Association are going to get involved. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I just don't want it to drag out, and we're dragging it out. It's time for us to go. So hope you've enjoyed the show, everybody. We'll look forward to your company next week. Bye for now.